Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to 2023. Happy New Year. I'm Dr. Laura Jaget, and this marks the 110th episode of the How to Life podcast. I have just completed the third year of this podcast, and I thought I would give you a 2022 year in review. We had some great interviews about self-care, business, personal development, communication, health, as well as episodes about basic life skills, of course. So here's a highlight reel of all the past year's podcast episodes. It is a sampling in case you are new to the podcast. Have a listen. I am sure you'll find something that you needed to hear, and I hope this helps you out. Welcome to episode 87. Making a goals list is more than just thinking about what you want. I'm going to teach you how to go about setting your goals list. All you have to do is follow this framework. It's an easy formula, and you probably do most of these steps at some point during the day anyway. You're just not doing it in an organized fashion. Here are the 7 things that I do to reach my goals every year. Episode 88. My guest is here to talk about 6 things that can be developed to help you break through walls and reach seemingly impossible goals.
My name is Benjamin Ye. I'm a business and transformation coach, and I'm the host of the Boom Vision podcast.
What do you talk about on Boom Vision? What's your intention with it?
My intention is for people to expand in knowing what's possible.
So how do you start the process of the breakthrough? Let's say someone's listening to this show. Where do they begin? This is episode 89. Michael Bauman is here today to summarize this great system that allows you to get things done. What makes people inefficient and not able to follow through?
A lot of times we treat things like that, areas of like personal failure where we don't feel like we're doing enough. We treat it as like personal things, like they're very intrinsic, or like I am lazy or I'm unproductive or whatever. And that's not necessarily the case. A lot of times it's a systems problem. So if you have a better system, then you can actually get more done. One of the biggest things that keeps us from being productive is distractions in our environment.
Episode 90. Today, I'm speaking with psychotherapist Rotem Brer about the science behind a habit and the ways to build a new one.
Habits, in their most basic form, are neurological patterns in the brain. So when we create new habits, we create new pathways in the brain. Old habits are always going to be there. What we need to do is strengthen this new pathway that we created by repetition, with the hope that we're not going back to our old pattern.
Episode 91. If you want what you want, then you have to keep that focus. Having an escape plan in case it doesn't pan out is not going to benefit you. Gabby Braddock will convince you to stick to plan A.
Plan A is your mission, and you can't run multiple missions at the same time. So I grew up playing soccer, and I grew up in a team environment. If we have a play that we're running, it has to be one play. You can't have 3 different ones running at the same time. It's chaos. And that's exactly the same thing that I see in the people that I meet that have multiple things that they have going on, multiple side gigs, multiple dreams, and they're going into all of them at the same time. And you are one person, and you do only have 24 hours and so much energy. You need to spend it wisely.
Today, you're listening to episode 92. Stefan Brzezinski is an entrepreneur who's failed a few times and has used the rubble as stepping stones to create his now successful media and marketing business. This is his story of loss to triumph. He talks about the messy middle and honestly answers my questions about the emotions, the aftermath, and how and why he got up and kept going.
To succeed big, you have to try a lot. Just keep trying. You're going to get there eventually. You just have to take all the shots. I know this is really, really hard, but it's not personal. Nothing ever is. Just because you failed at something doesn't mean you're a failure.
You are listening to episode 93. This podcast episode is for anyone who is taking the long and winding road through life. It doesn't mean that you're lost or that you're going to wander forever. I'm speaking with Jeff Gargas, who is the successful COO of the Teach Better team. It took him some time to get there. If you are wandering or you feel lost right now, you'll be happy to know that you're just fine and that nothing is random and you really are on your way. How do you feel about your journey and the timing and how it all has played out?
I wouldn't change a thing because everything I learned from the good, the bad, the ugly, and all those different things I did help us run our business now. I couldn't do what I'm doing now if I hadn't done all that other junk.
This is episode 94. Today we're talking about how to settle into a new environment. This could be moving to a new country, a new culture. This could also be beginning a new job or going away to college or even starting a new school or moving to a new neighborhood. Trudy Rankin is an online business coach in Australia, but she grew up constantly moving as a child and she had to learn how to adapt and fit in quickly. So in this interview, she would like to help out those who may be feeling the discomfort of culture shock while settling into a new community.
Be open. You're going to allow yourself to have new experiences without fear or shame. Obviously, you're going to make sure that your physical safety is as safe as you can make it. You're not going to do stupid things, but you're going to push the boundaries a little bit. Know that you're going to go through things like homesickness. You are going to face culture shock and just accept it as part of the experience.
Episode 95. There are some things that can really throw you for a loop. One of those things is parenthood. That is hard enough. But a whole new set of challenges that you may be facing now is being a parent to a special needs child. My guest today is Wayne Pelletier. Wayne is the father of a child with Milan syndrome, and he talks honestly about the emotions and experiences of having a child with special needs. He also speaks about the community and resources that are available and how to find what you need.
There are a lot of feelings and emotions, and it's exacerbated when, in our case, we go years without a diagnosis, because what that doesn't get us is a playbook. And that's ultimately the goal, is how fast can I get the exact right resources?
This is episode 96. Today we're talking about self-care. Self-care is about taking care of yourself first so that you're in the best position to care for others. My guest today is Janine Kenna, co-host of the Kind-Hearted Badass podcast and community. And she and her partner Heather are on a mission to empower everyone to nourish their souls and fuel up.
There is power in the pause. You can't speed up if you don't know how to slow down. Rest is productive. Nurturing my relationships is productive. You can be an amazing, awesome, wonderful, whatever your role is that you want to be amazing at, and take care of yourself. In fact, you will be more amazing if you take care of yourself.
Episode 97. Today's topic is about how to get past the fear of change. Michelle Ponvert is here today with some advice and strategies that you can use to overcome those blocks. They are simple tips that you can definitely follow so that you can enjoy the journey to your new adventure.
I think in many ways, if we can feel like we are the agent of the change, it can be a really empowering thing to make changes in your life, to pursue what you want, to take action towards the things that you really desire out of this life we get. And there's sort of two ways to look at it. You can be the victim of change or you can be the agent of it. And I've really tried to embody that myself and feel like I'm the one making the choice to change and pursuing something I actively want. And I think just having that perspective can make the hard bits less hard.
Episode 98. We are talking about mental health today.
My name is Rotem Breyer. I'm a psychotherapist and my specialty is EMDR. So when we process target memories, we find very specific memories that happened in the past. Sometimes they are below level of consciousness, and these target memories are what causes the current symptoms that our clients experience. And that memory has stuck with the client in its original form, meaning that when the client faces a trigger, the same raw emotions are being triggered. And that happens because the memory itself was not processed. And that's the beauty of EMDR, because we're not only targeting the symptoms, we target that core and then we process it.
Episode 99 is all about credit cards. This is another one of my no fear episodes because we are going to break down the concept of credit cards, explain their many benefits, really highlight the potential downside, explain how and why so many people get into credit card debt and how you can avoid that. It really just comes down to understanding how this tool works. That's right. That's what it is. Credit cards are tools. And who better to explain this than Reed Garcia?
They're kind of like any tool, or I kind of like to think of like a knife. You know, knives are very sharp and they're very dangerous, but if you use them well and in the right context, they can do a lot of really good things. However, you can also hurt yourself if you're not careful. So credit cards are the same exact thing. The only difference between a credit card and a knife is that credit card mistakes can follow you around for years and years and years and years, whereas a cutting in your finger while you're cooking won't last that long.
Today marks the 100th episode of the How to Life podcast. So in this episode, I want you to know that we are all striving, learning, overcoming, and achieving throughout our lives. Everyone is. So don't feel bad if you feel like you're falling behind. My whole platform is to make you feel okay about where you are right now and give you some information that might help you along. So over the last few weeks, I've been asking you, the audience, a few questions about where you are on your adulting journeys. By sharing the answers with you, I hope that you'll hear something that resonates with you, or that you'll realize that you're not the only one who's having some trouble at the moment. Or you might discover something that you didn't even consider, or you learned something unexpected. And of course, I want you to recognize and celebrate when you have accomplished something that you were afraid of. And I want you to be proud of yourself. Acknowledge that win. This is episode 101. Last podcast I published, episode 100, I told you that I would be taking a break. When what you're doing is not fun, when you are resentful about it, when you are procrastinating about it, when you're looking for any reason not to do it, it might be time to take a break, refocus, reshift, and reevaluate at the very least. What happens if you don't allow yourself that time? Something's going to happen where you will be forced to take the break. So I want to kind of give you some guidance on how to avoid that, how to get out in front of it, and how to recharge so that you can put your best foot forward in the future. Today you are listening to episode 102. This topic is universal. It's how do we make friends? How do we find our tribe? Tony Bacigalupo is my guest, and he and I will be talking about how to make friends and socialize better. We're social creatures, but yet many of us deal with the issue of loneliness. So how do we break out of that shadow and start being social? Tony is here to offer some things that he has learned and done himself to kind of help break down the barriers that make it difficult for us to find our people.
So my name is Tony Bacigalupo, and I am many things, but one of them is an artist, and I create gatherings that help provoke people to think about how they belong to the world around them differently. I became aware of the fact that there is this thing that some people have called the loneliness epidemic, and that it is a major problem affecting a lot of people in the world right now. And I feel like I've found some clues as to how we might solve it.
Episode 103. I'm speaking with attorney turned career coach, Jeremy Klein. Today we are talking about job satisfaction. If you're feeling that it might be time for a change, this episode will help you identify the signs and give you the guidance to do so. It's important to have an exit plan one that is well thought out and considerate of everyone around, including family members or employers of where you're working now. And in order to do it, you have to have some courage. How do you find the courage to make this move? What do you think?
It's moving at whatever pace is comfortable for you and allowing yourself the opportunity to explore and to get curious. An analogy which I absolutely love is when you go into an enormous shopping mall and you could just go through an entrance and start wandering around, or you could go to one of those maps and it's got a nice big red dot on it which says you are here, and then from there you can plot out your routes. So I always start there. It's where are you at the moment? And then once you know where you are, once you've got that clarity, then you can start to figure out what you need.
You are listening to episode 104 right now. If you're thinking about trying to create your own business or your own side hustle, I have some help here for you. Trudy Rankin from Online Business Liftoff is here to talk about how to get started and how to find the people you need to do it right the first time.
I am the founder of Online Business Liftoff, which is a program and a community that helps people start their own online business and then grow it to the level that they want. We really like to focus on just helping people get past those barriers so that they can go and get themselves and their business to the next level. And we basically teach people how to come up with an idea, how to validate that idea, and it's quite a good process.
This is episode 105. You are about to hear an interview with MV Braverman, who's here to talk about how to reach out to someone you don't know and ask. Whether it's a sales call, or you'd like to inquire about working for them or working for their company, making a cold call can be an unpleasant and intimidating situation. The key is finding out how to get your foot in the door.
It's not your friends or family going to help you land a job. Rather, it's people you know a little bit.
How
your
so?
Acquaintances. These second connections are the most valuable. So you make that list of people that have maybe that job title or worked at the company you're interested in. Start really digging deep. If they have a blog, read their blog. Look at their profile. Do you notice any sort of common membership?
And so you recommend learning everything about that person before you reach out to them.
Absolutely. Yes. Look at their Twitter, their Instagram, go to their company site, read their About Us page.
And the reason you want to do this is so that you are well versed in who they are and what they do.
Absolutely. And also you find points of commonality with them.
This is episode 106. If you have your own business or you want to start one, even as a side hustle, everyone could use a little support. Today's topic is about using YouTube for your business.
So my name is Itai Nussbaum. I am the founder of YouTubers Toolkit. It's a consulting company that helps entrepreneurs and business owners create a meaningful online video presence. So if you have a message and you want to be heard and you have knowledge to give and share, this is the episode for you. I'm going to talk about why YouTube is the best platform for, I would say, entrepreneurs and small businesses. And I'm going to explain exactly how. Video is a powerful medium. Viewers, they can see us, they can hear us, and we can convey our feelings and emotion in a way unparalleled to other platforms. And it is when our emotions come through that the viewers become audience.
This is episode 107. This is going to be another segment of the unofficial What Can I Do With My Life series. If you are a good writer, then this episode may be particularly interesting to you. I am speaking with Karthik Vijay Kumar, who is a copywriter.
I think the biggest skill that you need in order to be a good copywriter is to have a lot of empathy. It's not about just understanding their needs and desires, but also your ability to grasp what they say and don't say. So that's, I think, the most important skill that one needs to have. The second thing I would really think is interest for learning others' business. The third one is curiosity. I think you got to be curious if you really want to write good copy. And the fourth one, I think, is your ability to think out of the box. And finally, I think it all comes down to the user experience is so important.
This is episode 108. Today's episode is about what it takes to become a speech therapist, a rewarding and versatile job. And here to talk about that is my guest, certified speech-language pathologist, Rose Griffin.
I am a speech therapist and a board certified behavior analyst. So I use the science of applied behavior analysis, which is very, very niche, but just the study of how to help people set up the environment, focus on socially significant behaviors, which in my case is communication. So how to really help people in a very structured way. And so that's really what I specialize in. But really what a lot of people don't know, because I do have an online business and, from a business sense, I really only talk about autism, but in my real life, in like my private practice, I see clients that are just working on speech sounds and things like that. So it really is flexible. And that's kind of really why I went into the field, because it is such a broad scope. You sometimes tend to specialize in just one thing, but it is nice to have that variety too.
This is episode 109. We're talking about your health today, particularly your gut health.
My name is Karen Banghart, and I am a certified integrative nutritional health coach, and I am also a gut health advisor. And the reason I'm in this is because I was diagnosed with colon cancer in January of 2020.
So tell me about what your idea of health was prior to your diagnosis.
I probably was like most of the standard Americans. I thought I could eat whatever I chose as long as I wasn't overweight. I think a lot of people tend to look on the outside and think, well, they look fine. And we all know those people, right, that can eat ungodly amounts or garbage food and they look fine, they look healthy. But I didn't know what healthy was. And I think with the standard American diet, so many people eat that we don't understand that what you're consuming is you. That is your cells. It's making up your body, whether it's good or bad.
How did you feel?
I can go back 30 years at least and had gut issues back then and colon issues specifically. And I had a colonoscopy and I was about 25. They didn't find anything. And I just always thought this was my body. It's just a little messed up.
That's a wrap. I cannot thank you enough for all the support you have shown How to Life and the How to Life podcast. It is my great pleasure to offer some guidance and information that may help you out. Even if you're just soothed, knowing that you're not alone in this crazy journey of adulthood, I am so happy about that. You are not alone. We've got each other. Please make sure you head over to my YouTube channel, How to Life with Dr. Laura Jaget, and watch the short video tutorials on how to do basic life skills. I call those tutorials Mominars. I keep them as short and as to the point as possible because I know that you want the answers quickly and concisely. I got you. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. And again, Happy New Year. Let's really move forward with confidence this year. You got this.